Good morning. Welcome to today's video discussion where we are going to be discussing The House on Mango Street, The Piano Lesson, and Hamlet, which are being read in grades 10, 11, and 12. Today we're going to discuss the assignments for each one of those books, starting with The House on Mango Street. We left off last time discussing vignette assignments up to number 12. So we're going to start today with 13, 14, 15, and 16. Vignette 13, entitled Those Who Don't, found on page 28, we have Esperanza talking about the different types of people who seem to be afraid of coming to her neighborhood. She also tells about some instances where she herself was afraid to go in or walk through certain other neighborhoods. There are other people who tend to feel more comfortable with people that they're more familiar with or the people that they grew up seeing on an everyday basis. So the assignment for this vignette is you're going to discuss the time where you ever felt that you were afraid that you might be in the wrong place. Write about that experience, okay, how you felt either going through a different neighborhood or maybe even a particular event or party. Okay, moving on to vignette number 14, found on page 29 and 30. The title of this one is There Was an Old Woman. The author took the title of this vignette from the Mother Goose story. Okay, there once was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many kids she didn't know what to do. Anyway, moving on from that. The author discusses how every community has a variety of people. Okay, not everybody within the community tends to follow the rules, like the Vargas kids. So here the assignment is, did you ever know of an individual or a group of individuals who just didn't follow the rules? Write about that person or people and what it was about them that they felt they didn't need to follow the rules. Okay, vignette number 15. Alicia Who Sees Mice, found on pages 31 and 32. Now remember, we started out at the very beginning saying that the House of Mango Street is filled with many themes. Some of the themes, again, are there are different kinds of love. People need to feel that they belong. Women feel trapped. Growing up, which is the central theme, one of the major themes that we've been discussing, the coming of age. Okay, so the assignment for this particular vignette is we're going to talk about the theme of, again, coming of age, growing up. So for this vignette, try to pick out the things or the events that the characters go through and how you could see a change starting to develop. And what do you think the message the author is trying to give off by having the characters go through these changes? Okay, and moving on to vignette number 16. Darius and the Clouds, found on page 33 and 34. So for this particular vignette, we find that the author uses more of a typical poetry style of writing. Okay, remember, some elements tied to poetry are repetition, metaphors, and similes. For the assignment for this particular event, why do you think the author chose to use more of a poetic style of writing for this vignette? Okay, so those are the 4 vignette assignments for the House on Mango Street. Now we're going to jump over to the discussion questions for the piano lesson, which is grade 11. Okay, so today we're just going to discuss 3 questions about the readings that just require a little bit of a detailed explanation. Okay, so first question is, what's the story behind Lyman and Bernice kissing? Okay, what led to that kiss? What actions were the characters involved in? Was there something leading up to it? Was it something that one over the other felt needed to be done? Okay. Second part of that question is, why did they act like nothing happened the next day? A lot of times we get involved in something and we're either so embarrassed or we're so nervous about it, we don't want to talk about it, we don't bring it up. So why did they act like nothing happened the next day? Okay, next discussion question. Does Bernice or the piano have some kind of spiritual power? Now remember, earlier on in the story, there's a lot of discussion around spirits and things of that nature. Bernice feels that maybe there are spirits tied to the piano from people of the past. Okay, so again, does Bernice or the piano have some kind of spiritual power? Okay, and the last question for today's is, who is Daddy? And we're talking about Doker's father. Okay, so just simply answer, who is Daddy or Doker's father? Okay, so those are the discussion questions for the piano lesson. Now we're going to move on to Hamlet, which is the 12th grade reading, and we are up to the discussion questions for Act 3. Okay, so the first one you're going to look at is, what is the subject? What is the purpose of Hamlet's second soliloquy or speech? Okay, the famous to be or not to be speech. What is the meaning of it? Okay, next discussion question is, why does Hamlet become so cruel to Ophelia immediately after his speech? Okay, what occurs that now Hamlet has a change of feeling towards Ophelia? And the next discussion question is, how do the speeches and actions reflect on events in the Kingdom of Denmark? So what correlation do the speeches have directly with the events in the kingdom itself? Okay, so in short, those are the discussion questions and the assignments for the vignettes. Hope everyone stays well and has a wonderful weekend.